It is time once again to start playing with the NHL Draft Lottery Simulator. We're now already a quarter way through the NHL season. The standings don't tend to change a lot after the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday. Today we're going to take a look at what teams are in the mix, who's going to draft first overall. We'll simulate some potential results and do a top 10 mock draft. And that's coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we're now over the 20 game mark in the NHL season. Most teams are that or more. The standings, as I mentioned, don't tend to change a ton after U.S. Thanksgiving, or at least if they do, the teams that are out of the playoffs have a really low percentage of getting in. Now, there's the odd exception to that rule, of course, but typically that's what history has told us. And we'll see how things go this year. So we're going to hop on to the Draft Lottery Simulator. Take a look at all the teams that are out of the playoffs as of today, as I record this video. And we're going to simulate how the top of the draft is going to go. And then we're going to conduct a top 10 draft for those top 10 selections. As time goes on later into the season, we'll start our mock drafts going a little bit deeper. We'll make a top 15, top 20, eventually doing an entire first round closer to the, probably to the spring when we get a little bit more data on more of these players and you can kind of project a little bit better on what's more likely going to happen. A lot can change throughout the course of a season, and right now we kind of have a pretty good idea though on at the top of this draft who's likely going to go in what spots, but like I said, things can change. So let's hop on the computer. We're going to simulate the draft, see who gets to pick first overall in the subsequent 9 spots that follow, and select which players they're likely going to pick. Okay, so here we are on the tankathon.com website. We can use the NHL Draft Lottery Simulator. So here are the teams right now that are in these positions as I record this today on Friday, November the 25th. This won't be going on YouTube for a few more days, so the standings might change slightly here. But right now, the team with the best odds at winning is the Anaheim Ducks. They're last in the NHL. Ottawa's next, followed by San Jose, Chicago, Columbus, Vancouver, Arizona, Buffalo, Washington, and Philadelphia are your teams with the top 10 selections. Of course, you can't move up any higher than that and get the first overall. So those will be the teams that we focus on here today. Out of these teams, there's certainly, I'd say, at least a few that we would not have expected to be here, and they very well might get themselves out of this. But it's like I said, the standings don't tend to change a lot, or at least these teams don't typically get back into the playoffs much after U.S. Thanksgiving. So let's simulate this draft lottery and see who's picking first overall. Here we go. It's the Anaheim Ducks with the victory. Of course, the teams with the best odds don't always get that first overall pick. The Vancouver Canucks move up 4 spots for the second lottery position to pick number 2 overall. Of course, that drops Ottawa to 3rd, San Jose to 4th, followed by Chicago to 5th, Columbus to 6th, Arizona stays in 7th, Buffalo 8th, Washington 9th, and Philadelphia in the 10 spot. Now let's jump over here and we'll take a look at which players I think will be selected with these top 10 selections. Picking first overall, we have the Anaheim Ducks, and there's no doubt they're taking Connor Bedard of the WHL's Regina Pats. Bedard has been long regarded as a potential generational first overall selection in the NHL for some time. If you take a look back at all the recent first overall picks, he probably compares more to like a guy like a Connor McDavid on the impact he can have on the franchise. May not play exactly like McDavid, but there's more comparisons and similarities to the impact there than a lot of the other first overall picks we've seen recently. He has crazy good chemistry as well with Mason McTavish on the Anaheim Ducks. They've appeared together numerous times for Team Canada, and that would be quite a deathly lethal combination for their opponents should they end up playing together in the NHL. But Bedard really has it all. He has the shot, the speed, the playmaking skills. Like he really can do everything extremely well. He's not a very big guy though, 5'10", 185, but he is strong, I think, for his size, and we'll see how much that has an impact on things moving forward. But Bedard would be an awesome pickup here for any team, especially the Anaheim Ducks. Picking second overall, we have the Vancouver Canucks, and I have them selecting Adam Fantilli. Of course, he's a Canadian-born player, but currently with the University of Michigan. Had a strong start to his year this year, putting up 23 points in his first 12 games. 6'2", 187, so he's got terrific size and strength already. Might be the best skater in this draft. That's not a given, but he is potentially going to be in that category for sure. He's a very physically gifted, dynamic, offensive player. Of course, the Canucks could certainly use a player like Fantilli, certainly with the potential coming up that they may trade Bo Horvat. Fantilli would be an excellent replacement. Now, he may play another year of college hockey, I'm not sure, before he makes the jump to the NHL, but I think he'd have the size and strength to possibly go NHL right away, and I do think that he has the potential to be a solid two-way playmaking top six center, luckily a first-line player for sure. Fantilli is not a bad consolation prize for being the second pick here. Bedard is pretty special, but Fantilli is pretty much right up there with him. Third in this draft right now, we have the Ottawa Senators, and I'd have them taking Leo Carlsson. Now, some might have thought they were going to go for Matvei MItchkov, but I think they want more of an immediate impact, and MItchkov is not going to be that, even though he is going to be a fantastic player. But Carlsson can play center and wing, 6'3", 195 pounds, Swedish player. A similar mold to Adam Fantilli in a sense. Excellent puck skills, very smart, highly skilled center with a very high IQ. To me, he could be a really nice fit in that Ottawa Senators core group of young forwards that they're building there. I know they're not having the season they were hoping to get off to, but if they can get another high pick and another really important impact player, it might turn out to be good long term. Picking fourth overall, we have the San Jose Sharks, and I have them taking the Russian phenom Matvei MItchkov. Now, the problem with MItchkov is, one, I know there's a lot of teams and skeptical on the whole Russian factor, of course, and he is signed to play in Russia until the completion of the 25-26 season. So whatever team selects him is going to be waiting a while, and that's assuming that he makes the jump to the NHL upon completion of that contract, which is not a guarantee. Now, his size might be a factor long term. He's 5'10", 159, so could use a little bit of extra muscle in that frame, but he has terrific skill, excellent vision. He's a high-end playmaker, but also a talented goal scorer, really has a bit of everything, and I do wonder if the Russian factor in the long-term contract to stay over there wasn't a factor here. He could challenge maybe for first overall. There was a point in time where Michkov was mentioned in the same breath as Connor Bedard. Selecting at 5 overall, we have the Chicago Blackhawks, and I have them taking another center/winger in Zach Benson of the WHL's Winnipeg Ice, another player that's a little bit smaller here at 5'10", 159, very similar size to Michkov, but a very, very smart player. Benson might be the highest IQ in this draft, as he's quite possible. Very quick acceleration, great puck skills, very high-skilled player who can drive the play. So sometimes you get players that are more of the benefactor of another player, drives the play, and they kind of get the end results. Well, this guy is the driver. He creates, he scores, does a bit of everything, and will be a really excellent player for anybody who selects him. Picking at 6 overall, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I have them selecting right winger from the Czech Republic, Edward Shea. Now, Shea is a dynamic player as well. 6'1", 168, an extremely gifted offensive player, great puck handling, very fast, very agile, very smart player. Good skill set, as I mentioned. He can play the wing. I don't think he projects to be a center. Doesn't look like it at this point in his young career, but still another excellent scoring winger. I mean, we know the Jackets here really could use a center, in my opinion, but at this point, some of the top guys ahead of them have gone. I wouldn't be shocked if maybe the Blue Jackets, if they end up picking in a spot, possibly go with a different player. There are some other centers below him in this top 10, but Shea still projects to be an excellent prospect. It will definitely be a top 10 pick, in my opinion. Right now, selecting 7th overall, we have the Arizona Coyotes, and I have them selecting a centerman from Slovakia, Dalibor Dvorsky. Now, as I mentioned, he could go a pick higher if this order is indeed the draft order. Wouldn't be shocked if Columbus took him in a real draft here ahead of Shea, but he's 6'1", 201 pounds, so he's got excellent size and strength for his age. So playing in Slovakia for AIK, he's got a great shot, uses his size to his advantage to get into the inside for good positioning, very quick release. Many view him as being a pretty solid top 6 center prospect for the NHL. Like I said, he's got a shoot first mentality, great shot. Scouts have noted that they see a little bit of a struggle sometimes with pace, and they'd like to see him work a little bit on his foot speed to be a little bit quicker, but overall, a pretty solid prospect. Selecting 8th overall, we have the Buffalo Sabres, and I have them selecting Canadian-born center Braden Yager, who's 6 feet tall, 165 pounds, playing in the WHL for the Moose Jaw Warriors. So far this year, he's got 25 points in his first 22 games. A very dynamic skater, loves to shoot, as a very quick release here. Obviously, as somebody who's improved his playmaking skills lately as well. Great shot, great release. I think he could be an excellent pickup here for the Sabres. We certainly didn't think we'd have the Sabres in the draft lottery yet again this year. But like I said about Ottawa, the same thing. If they're going to be there, this is going to be a draft where they get a great player early. Selecting 9th overall, we have the Washington Capitals, and I have them selecting Will Smith. Yes, not the Fresh Prince, but a great hockey player from the United States National Team Development Program. 6 feet tall, 172 pounds. He's committed to going to Boston College, so he will be a U.S. collegiate hockey player for at least one season, perhaps longer. So far this year in the national team program, he's put up 43 points in 22 games. He is one of the best slot passers, they say, in this draft. A prolific goal scorer, great puck skills, and could certainly be a terrific top 6 center down the road with a goal first, shoot first mentality. Could be a great pickup here by the Washington Capitals. Selecting 10th overall, we have the Philadelphia Flyers, and I have them selecting Matthew Wood from the University of Connecticut. 6'3", 190 pounds, is great size, plays center and wing. Of course, a Canadian-born prospect. So far this year has 12 points in his first 15 games. Prior to this year, he played in the BCHL, where he dominated offensively, which is not a huge surprise because it is considered a lower-level junior league. 85 points in 46 games that season. He's considered a rangy, goal-scoring forward with silky hands for his size. Now, of course, his shot is really, really good, and it draws comparison to the shot of Austin Matthews. I'm not saying he's going to play like Matthews or he'll be anywhere near that level of elite player, but Wood's shot, just the way he shoots the puck and the release, the power behind it, draws comparison to Matthews' shot. So obviously that's something that is a great attribute for him. It certainly needs to seem like he might want to get a little stronger, because even with his size, sometimes that does seem to be a little bit of an issue for him, and as well as getting a little bit quicker, which is common for a lot of these prospects. But many of these guys have skating coaches and can work on that quite easily. So I do see Wood as being a pretty good-looking prospect here for Philly. So that is my first mock draft of the season and draft lottery simulation. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know which team you think needs that first overall selection more than any other. Connor Bedard is likely going to be a very special player, potentially a generational impact player that the likes of Connor McDavid is doing right now in the NHL. At least that's how things look as of today. So it could be a major turning point in a franchise's history if they're able to select this player first overall. So let me know your thoughts on my selections, which teams need to be high in the draft, and we'll discuss further down in the comments. If you're new to the channel, of course, make sure you subscribe. Stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest news, rumors, and analysis, as well as all kinds of draft content as we head into the 2023 NHL Draft next summer. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.